Hey everyone, welcome back to Serving 813, a radio show and podcast featuring Tampa Bay organizations every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. I'm Ava Lamison, one of your hosts, and cue the cricket noises because I'm your only host for this week. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have fun, because today I'm joined with some of the faces behind WMNF Radio. Now, for those of you who don't know, WMNF is a volunteer-powered, listener-supported, commercial-free radio that started over 45 years ago and has been serving the 813 with a platform for diverse voices who strive to promote a more just, peaceful, and sustainable world. So, with that said, welcome Miss Julie and Nathaniel to the Serving 813 show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us on.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm honored. This is like one of my favorite radio shows ever to listen to. And as a matter of fact, I'm interning with you guys. So
we're so happy to have you helping out in the newsroom.
Congratulations about that as well.
Thank you.
As a volunteer coordinator, it's really great to have people like Ava and Nathaniel, who has grown up on the radio with us.
Yes.
And, lots of good things are happening. WMNF is turning 46 years old.
That's crazy.
September 14th is our actual birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask, for those who don't know what community radio is, because it's such a big topic now, I feel like. So could you further explain what community radio is?
Well, community radio in the sense of WMNF means that we are part of the public radio system. We're part of NPR, National Public Radio, but we are a standalone entity. 88.5 FM in Tampa, Florida is WMNF, and we are not associated with any organization other than ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're not connected to a university or any, we're funded by our listeners. And more these days, because I don't know if y'all have heard, but the governor line item vetoed the state funding.
Oh, really?
Yes, and we may stand to lose our CPP funding on the federal level. So WMNF is an awesome radio station. I don't want to scare anybody because we're not going away.
Yeah, 46 years strong.
46 years. We're having a birthday party on September 20th at Baybor Brewing in St. Petersburg. We're bringing one of the tropical heat wave bands that got rained out, actually.
Oh.
The Black Honkies Band, and opening is going to be 4-Star Riot. And that's with birthday cake on September 20th in St. Pete. So come celebrate with us.
Well, you caught me with the birthday cake, so looks like I'll be there. So how would you say WMNF is making a change in the community, in the 813? How did they make a change?
Well, WMNF, we say we have real news you can use. And we are part of the Florida Emergency Radio, it's FPRIN, Florida Radio Emergency, what is FPRIN? Emergency
Program?
Oh my gosh, I should have written this down. But we when there's storms, we broadcast information. We tell people how to prepare. We tell people about services they can tap into, anytime. We partner with other nonprofits. And we're 100% volunteer powered. We do have a small staff that does administrative things, but everyone that you hear on the air, with the exception of a couple of news employees, are volunteers.
Yeah. Can you touch on that? What do you mean just volunteers?
Yes, they are people who love music, who know music, who appreciate bringing you the news that you can use.
Yeah.
We have interns who work in our news department and produce stories, and everyone that you hear doing a music show on the air is a volunteer. Even if they're a staff member, they're volunteering at no time. We have over 87 programs on the air, I believe, and it takes about 150 to 200 volunteers every week just to keep WMNF on the air.
That's so crazy to me, but it's working perfectly because WMNF is such a successful radio station. And another thing I love, WMNF is not just you're listening to music. As you said, you talk about hurricane coverage and how to prepare yourself, as well as news daily, which is really special. So something I wanted to ask is, what can you expect from WMNF? Just what are the choices of when you tune into WMNF? What can you expect?
I always tell a new listener, if you turn on the radio and you're not happy with the show, wait a couple hours, try again.
Yeah.
By the third time, you're going to find something you love, because our programmers are aficionados. They know the music inside out. They have historical knowledge of the bands and the artists, and you're going to learn things. These aren't just folks who spin the records that you hear on commercial radio. Mm-hmm. These are dedicated people who, for every hour that they're on the air, they probably plan 3 to 6 hours for every hour. You're going to hear music that maybe never have been played somewhere else. You're going to hear alternative things. You're going to hear artists that aren't on a big label. It just depends on what you tune into. We have very eclectic music programs, and everything from African music, world music, folk, rock, Americana. There's pretty much something for everyone. There's jazz, there's blues, there's and we don't just have jazz.
Yeah,
we have 4 jazz programs. Yeah. One of them is Bob Seymour, the Jazz in the Night on Monday night.
I love that show.
And he was the jazz host,
so good.
The jazz director at WSF. And I think Mike Cornett is filling in for him, who was also a guy at WSF when they had jazz on the airwaves. But you just never know.
I mean, I know most of you people listening right now have never been into the WMNF radio station, but if you walk in there, there's a library filled with music. Like,
I got my senior pictures done, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's really cool.
I have to note that down. Maybe I will too. But you walk in, it's music after music label, which is so crazy. And you guys actually, don't you have some bands play for you every Friday? Is that
the live music showcase is on every Friday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mm-hmm. And we have some HCC students who are interns who now are camera operators. Shout out to Ike and Big Sarge. We want to say, volunteers come to us in all ways. Sometimes folks retire and they come and volunteer. Sometimes people come in as a high school or a college intern, and they stay and they get shows.
Yeah.
And, we change our programming every 2 years, which we just did. But there are lots of ways to get involved and ways to help WMNF at concerts when we produce a show, or if we have a speech, like we're going to have Wavemakers Live with Nadine Smith. Wavemakers is a program that was on the air, but now it's going to be a speaker series. And that's happening Thursday, August 21st at the Commodore in Ybor City. There's more information on our website. Just go to WMNF.org events.
Make sure to check that out. Well, I think that wraps up our first segment, but I did have to ask to the queen of WMNF herself, what song should we play, Miss Julie?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's summertime.
That's true.
One of my favorite artists is Jonathan Richman, and he has a song called That Summer Feeling.
All right, I'll play that. I feel like everybody at WMNF has great music taste. You can never go wrong with any songs they'll play. We'll be back after this song. And welcome back to Serving 813. If you're just tuning in, I'm Ava Lamison, and I'm here with Miss Julie and Nathaniel from WMNF Radio. But first, I would like to say, great song choice, Miss Julie. That was really good.
Thank you.
But I wanted to dedicate this segment to you guys and your experience at WMNF. So, Miss Julie, I'll start with you. You are the Volunteers Community Outreach and Engagement Manager. Did I get that right?
Pretty darn close.
Yes.
I'll take that.
So,
Yeah, you could just say volunteer coordinator, but
Yeah.
over the years, I've done a lot of things. I'm the food donation coordinator, the raffle coordinator. But one of my favorite things is being the volunteer coordinator because I get to work with all these awesome people who donate their time. And there's lots of ways to volunteer at the station, but I started listening when the radio station first went on the air because my stepdad knew about it because there was a buzz around the University of South Florida and everybody tuned into this cool new radio station that was playing music that was hot. And so we're in our fourth building now. And I kind of want to just invite everyone to sign up to volunteer because it's awesome. You can go to WMNF.org and under support, you can help us clean our yard, be part of the green team, come in and help on fund drives, come help at concerts.
and the choices to volunteer are endless. You can really do anything there, I feel like. And it's not just doing a boring volunteer thing just to get your hours. You're doing it for fun, and it sounds fun. I mean, I have fun interning there. But what would you say, both of you, what was your most memorable experience at WMNF?
Oh man, there's so many. Well, I was just talking about how I got my senior pictures done, taken there, but that's definitely one of them because that was just fun. But honestly, I would say the very first time I came to the station when I was probably about 12 years old, and my family had just moved from Gainesville to Tampa, and this WMNF OG Jeannie Holton we rented from, and she offered my brother Noah a spot on her radio station. But she invited my entire family to come in and sit in for a show. And I just, it was so all for, 12-year-old to be like, man, I'm in a radio station. I grew up listening to, my mom always playing radio in the car and all this kind of stuff. And, being actually be able to be in the studio, see what goes into making a show and a lot of the planning and all that, but also just the amount of records that are in our WMF record library. Being able to sit down, first time I was ever spun a record in my life was at WMF. So there's so many memories that are core to my personality today, just who I became. I can thanks to WMF.
Yeah, you really grew up with that.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, wait, what show did your brother do, Noah?
It was called is called the Acoustic Peace Club on Sundays from noon to 2. It's mainly folk, Americana, and anything acoustic, really.
Awesome.
With a focus on peace and
love.
Peace and love.
Love that.
The Acoustic Peace Club. Jeannie's one of the original volunteers at WMNF, and she's brought in a lot of program assistants and interns, and turned on first your brother, Noah, and then your sister, Nadia,
Dang.
who left the legacy of Nathaniel's show, The Dorm Room.
Yeah, to myself, Nadia. Well, no, of course, Noah started it, and Nadia. Same thing with me. I co-hosted the Acoustic Peace Club with Jeannie for actually since right from the beginning, because I remember Jeannie the first time I walked in. I just fresh off of board training and fresh off of just literally my first show. I hadn't done anything else, and she's like, "You're running the board and you're running the playlist," and I don't, I'm sitting back and I don't want to do anything. And I'm like, this is my first time. I'm a little scared, but
no time to be frightened.
No time to be frightened. It was go straight in the deep end. But that's I love that she did that for me because it's such a great experience to do anything just immediately.
Yeah,
hit the feet running or hit the ground running. But Nadia started it, and she did the same thing where she co-hosted for a little bit, and then she got offered a dorm room after Megan or Emma, right?
She took over. Nadia took over for the initial host, who was Emma Friedman.
Yeah, Emma Friedman.
Who was a UT intern.
Yes.
And then Nadia, and then Megan Bowman, HCC intern, and then turned it over to you and Wade.
And I've been doing it now for about 2 years and a half.
Oh, that's over 2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Going on 3 years.
Almost 3 years, yeah. So, yeah.
One of the things I love is that of course, his siblings.
Yeah.
But his mother cooks for us when we have fun drives. Amazing salads, amazing pasta, and always your favorite banana pudding.
Yes, my absolute favorite, not Joe. She calls it not Joe Mama's banana pudding.
Pudding. And your dad helps co-host.
Yeah. My dad comes in a lot, and he always loves volunteering for a bunch of different WMNF events whenever he can. And my entire family, thanks to Jeannie, my entire family just fell in love with WMNF. We're all supporters. We all. I think my sister needs to join a circle of friends. She's the only one.
Tell about donors.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're my family. I'm gonna
welcome. Everyone is welcome to support WMNF if you can.
Exactly, but it's that's the thing. Once you do once you fall in love with the show, it's no brainer to want to support the station and because you're supporting the radio station that you love and you're supporting something that you really truly believe in, which I just think it's great. And that's part of the thing. Once you start volunteering, you want to. All of a sudden you kind of look around, you're like, man, there's I want to do so much more. I want to, be a part of it. Yeah. And I think everyone, eventually it's like, man, I really want to have a show. Which I'm very blessed and very thankful that I was given a show at such a young age and such a, a really cool show as well for what I get.
That's like the stage I'm in right now. When I walk into WMNF, it's literally, if you guys walk in, history everywhere.
Yes.
Every photo is so amazing. When Miss Julie was giving me the tour, she was like, oh, this is from blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, give me a break. I feel like I'm in the Met right now.
We do have a lot of and I think you were speaking of the photo when we moved our radio station from Nebraska, and it used to be called Buffalo Avenue. They couldn't find a truck, a semi with a bed long enough to move our STL, which is the studio to transmitter link tower. And so they realized it's tall, but it's not that heavy if you have enough people.
Oh.
And so they hand carried from where the Winn-Dixie is now at MLK in Nebraska to 1210 East Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, which is what Buffalo is called now, and reinstated the tower and connected it to the 2-bedroom house that became the third reiteration of WMNF. We have had a capital campaign and raised a whole bunch of money to build the fourth reiteration, which is what we're in now, which is a state-of-the-art 6-studio building.
Absolutely.
Broadcasts 24/7 on 4 different HD channels. And it's a wonderful place to work. I've worked there since before you were born. I'm a 20-year employee, and, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, more reason why you should volunteer at WMNF. There's such a big history behind it, and it's just, there's something new to learn about it every day, I feel as if. But Nathaniel, I wanted to talk about how you're a programmer as well as show host at WMNF. So what do you do as a programmer?
Well, for programming, I'm thinking of different topics to have or talk about on air and the music to play, as I'm primarily a music show. My show, The Dorm Room, is a new indie music show. I always say we play college radio, new indie music, and cool classics. But the big part of the show is that new indie music. So every week, generally, Wednesdays, my show's tonight on Thursdays, but on Wednesdays, I, spend a decent amount of time kind of cultivating through different lists, NPR, Music Fridays, and Indie Momo playlists, and just, there's thousands of them out there, but trying to, comb through and find some stuff that's good, some stuff that's new, some stuff that's, you can hear some strong influences, stuff like that. So, there's a lot of work that goes into that, for sure, from the, very much the programming side of it, which I mean, a lot of times it kind of is hand in hand, but definitely like the show host aspect, though, is a lot more about just, presenting it and just sitting back and enjoying the music that I'm really playing. I always like to say I'm trying to play for myself, a lot too, because it's, I like to enjoy myself in the studio and play it loud. Me and my co-host Wade love blasting the music up real loud and rocking out to Alice in Chains or whatever we're playing that week, and I'll, especially if there's a really good. Every week there's always like one really standout track that me and him really like get down to. But yeah, it's just mainly it's a lot of combing through, making sure. Also, sometimes people will suggest music that I'll play the following week. Callers also too, which is a lovely thing too. We get a lot of callers.
We're trying to get callers in here in the Hawk radio room because the phone's broken, but I would love to have callers. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But I believe that wraps up our second segment. So, as I asked Miss Julia, I now want to ask you, Nathaniel, yes. What song should we play?
Well, I've been loving this new alt country record by MJ Letterman, and my favorite track off of that record, well, named Manning Fireworks, but my favorite track off of that record is Wristwatch.
Let's do it. We'll see you after this song. And we're back. Welcome back to Serving 813. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Ava Lamison, and I'm here with Miss Julie and Nathaniel from WMNF. Make sure to tune into hcchawkradio.com every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. if you want to keep hearing ways you can serve your community. Now, I put up an Instagram story the other day asking for questions regarding WMNF and you two, and I got a hefty amount of responses, actually, so awesome. You're in for a treat. So our first question was, what does a typical day at WMNF look like?
There is no such thing as a typical day at WMNF. Just right off the bat, I have to say that, which is part of why I've been able to work there for 20 years almost, and every day is new. You go in, I mean, I'll say I open the door and I'm usually greeted by a volunteer who beats me there to work the front desk. Basically, you know, we take pledges, donations. People call about their thank you gifts. They call about their new record.
Yeah.
We have...
sometimes people leave their records.
They leave their records. But yeah, there really is no typical day. We have lots of staff meetings and meetings with the community.
Yeah.
But WMNF, we get lots of requests for public service announcements, which I'm the one who posts those. So we do that for any 501c3 nonprofit. But yeah, every day is different, which is what makes it such a joy to work there. You never know what you're like. Yeah. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But yeah, it could mean someone sends us an album that's never been played on the air. Like one day we broke a band called The War and Treaty. WMNF was the first radio station to play that band. If awesome. We know the Trotters.
Yeah. All right. Let's read another question. So someone asked, WMNF is just it is a radio show, but how does it serve the community as it's just a radio show? It's not just like iHeartRadio or another random radio channel. You guys actually have a bunch of events and stuff, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, we just, of course, pretty much any community event, with, the St. Pete Pride that just happened a few weeks ago, WMNF was there, showing this.
Carnations.
Yep, exactly. Coming up, of course, we have our own events. We have the WMNF birthday bash and Tom Petty events, Tom Petty tribute and the Halloween ball as well come Halloween time. But WMNF always is constantly putting on music events for the community, but also participating in other community events like the Pride Fest, our MLK parade. WMNF in January we're always a part of.
Tampa parade.
Yeah, and WMNF. I feel like almost every community event, any major community event I've seen in Tampa Bay area, I've seen a WMNF tent or a WMNF, somebody there wearing a t-shirt, passing out some stuff. But yeah.
We were just at a women's health event that happened at Community Stepping Stones, which is one of our community partners. The kids at that after-school program made artwork for our tropical heat wave. So that's an event.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Tropical heat wave. And we also had things from the Learning Gate school, which we go to Learning Gate for their Eco Fest. But yeah, we're very involved in the community. I'm the outreach coordinator as well. So I try to get WMNF in front of as many eyes and ears as possible. We do have all 4 channels of radio on HD. If you go to our website or download our free app, you can look for WMNF in your app store. But Tampa Bay Blues Festival in St. Pete in April. We usually go to that for all 3 days.
Another thing
our volunteers do, they staff our outreach table.
That's awesome.
So you might
like you're not even volunteering; you're having fun.
Exactly. And
another thing we do too is the Living Mirror weekly playback show that or monthly show that is like it follows our WMNF mission calendar, correct?
It does follow their topic. Living Mirror Playback Theater is a troupe of actors. They're on hiatus until September, their summer break, but they perform in our live music studio. And for June, the topic was Pride. And it does follow our mission calendar, which you can find on our website if you're interested. Every month we try to highlight a topic. So I believe this month, July, is anti-war and human rights.
Yes.
So our music shows and our news stories try to highlight that mission topic.
Awesome, yeah. How many events do you guys usually have a month?
It depends.
A lot.
We basically shut down everything in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we slowly brought things back. In the olden days, PC I call it, pre-COVID, we probably had 3, even 4 events a month.
That's awesome.
There was something almost every single weekend. But we have the birthday bash coming up September 20th. October 4th is our, I can't remember, I think it's our 5th annual Tom Petty tribute. I
think so, yeah.
With local bands performing the music.
I love our tribute shows. We just did I went to the Talking Heads tribute show. There was one after that too that I missed, but I heard it was really great.
I'd have to reference the Halloween ball last year.
Yeah.
Drag show, and I think that's what we're bringing back again to
the
New World Brewery. That's going to be on October 17th. So yeah, we try to do as many things as possible. The Wavemakers Live is happening at the Commodore. I think I mentioned that earlier, but that's on Thursday, August 21st. And August 2nd, we're having something at the radio station. So if anyone's interested, it's from 4 to 6 p.m. and it's called the Record Art Show. So LPs, they get scratched, they get old, they get moldy, whatever. But we are reinventing the record and painting or making art on the albums. And that'll be in our studio. So you could get a tour, come for the art show on August 2nd. It's a Saturday.
Well, you did say it yourself. There's no typical day at WMNF. The more I'm hearing, can never be bored working there. So I did want to ask, as you brought up COVID, what would your biggest challenge be working at WMNF?
Oh, wow. Well, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge, going home. I used to have a boss that said, get out of here. When we have our membership drives, sometimes it's challenging to raise the funds that we need to keep our operations going. But I won't even say that's a challenge because people who love the music and support the news, people, if they have extra, are willing to help us. We've been going strong for 46 years almost. And I look at it's not a challenge, it's an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes the challenge is to keep everybody who comes in to volunteer busy, to find enough things for them to do. But really, it's such a joy. And going home may be my biggest challenge.
Well, I'll say one thing though too is that sometimes, especially with some of the NPR stuff that's going on and all this stuff too, it's some of the challenge is just like you said, staying funding but making sure that we're trying to stay independent, always trying to keep that corporate or governmental whatever off our back, so that we can stay totally community driven, totally community focused. Which is the best. My absolute favorite thing about WMNF is that we don't have the Nathan B. Stubblefield Foundation is our overarching organization, but it has no ties to anyone at all. It's completely community funded, completely community focused, and absolutely no corporate, and nobody telling us what to play, what to say, what to do. Which I love being able to be a young person on air, not having somebody over my shoulder being like, you can't say this, you can,
I mean, there are FCC rules.
There is FCC rules, of course.
You can't say curse words.
Yeah, the 7 dirty words.
But I do want to give a shout out because we are part of the NPR organization. The voice of NPR is Chioke Ianson, and he started out at WMNF. He was one of our volunteers. He worked at UT, and now he's the director of community media at the VPM and ICA at Virginia Commonwealth University. And he sometimes is a host of Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR.
Awesome.
So every time I hear Chioke, I think, hey, Ianson. But anyway.
Yeah, all right. I have one more question, and someone asked, I feel like we touched about this a lot, but I'll still ask it. How can other people get involved?
First step is register to be a volunteer. Now start getting messages from me through Sign Up Genius. But you just go to WMNF.org, like WeMakeNewFriends.org, and click on the support tab and drop down to volunteer. And once you register, I'll probably send a message out tomorrow. I usually do a note on Fridays. But getting involved during our membership drives, the next one that's a week long is coming up September 3rd through the 10th. And we're looking for people to help answer phone calls and take people's donations or pledges over the phone. People will go pick up food for us. They keep the tally.
Sometimes they make food.
Sometimes like Nathaniel's mom, make really yummy food. But businesses can get involved and become a community partner with us. We have nonprofit organizations and we have media partners. There's lots and lots of different ways to become involved in community radio, and it really will enrich your life.
Yeah. Wait, I have to ask, what would you say is the coolest business you've partnered up with?
Oh my gosh, I can't pick favorites.
I love all the local venues, Janice Live, the Crowbar,
Skipper Smokehouse.
With us. Yeah. Oh God, Skipper Smokehouse is the coolest dive music place in the world. I remember for the Talking Heads tribute show, I posted a picture on my Snapchat, and like all my friends were like, "Where is this venue? I gotta know. This is the coolest place because it has a big old Skipper Dome, right? It's such a cool. It's such a cool venue. I highly suggest you check out a show there if you can. They also have great food as well.
Yeah, they're an oyster bar, and a seafood restaurant in North Tampa.
Some alligator bites, all kinds of crazy stuff there.
Yeah.
So if you volunteer at WMNF, you can get some Nathaniel's mom's banana pudding.
If you come in on Thursday nights, you will definitely get that.
And then other food from random venues. But overall, I think that wraps up our show. So thank you so much, Miss Julie and Nathaniel, for being here today. It was great having you here. And I did want to ask, what's the best way to contact you? Is it just the website or?
Yeah, WMNF.
Okay.
At WMNF.org is a generic email that's easy to remember.
Yes.
And that will come straight to me and only me. So I'm happy to hear from your listeners. And I'm very grateful that you invited us in today to talk about.
I'm glad you guys came here.
Thank you, Ava.
Thank you. Well, before you guys head out, I have to ask you, what song represents WMNF the most, would you say?
One of the songs that I thought of that definitely is a good representative of kind of the younger voices of WMNF right now is a song by Car Seat Headrest called Sober to Death.
Okay, let's play it. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Ava.
And we're back to Serving 813. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Ava Lamison, and this time I'm not here with Miss Julie or Nathaniel as they left, but I did want to reflect on how fun they were and all the new stuff I learned about WMNF. If you were listening to this whole show, you now know I intern with them, and I feel like I'm learning something new every day. With working there, I mean, there's so much history behind WMNF, and it's truly such an amazing place to volunteer at. So if you're thinking of a fun volunteer opportunity and you don't know what to do, you should come to WMNF. It's really easy. All you have to do is go to the website, WMNF.org, and you'll just fill out the volunteer form, and Miss Julie's an amazing human being. You'll have so much fun there and you'll feel so welcome. But with that said, it doesn't matter. I want to say it doesn't matter what you want to be in the future if you are a student, but whatever your age is, you should volunteer here because they're accepting of everyone. But if you're especially a student like me, and you're planning to major in communications in college, public affairs, literally you name it, you'll find a spot for you there. There's always something to do at WMNF, and it'll always fit your niche, which is something really cool about the organization. And the fact that it's community-led is even amazinger because to see how successful they are. But there's always something to do. So if you're looking for a fun volunteering opportunity that's not just putting food in a bag, which is still fun, but you should go to WMNF. If you can literally do anything. You can go to events, as we talked about. You can just shadow the people who work there. You can be at the front desk. There's always something you can do there, which is really amazing. But I think that wraps up our show. I feel like I'm talking to a wall right now because no one else is here, but great show and great people. I was so glad that Miss Julie and Nathaniel could come in and talk about WMNF on their behalf because I feel like from just this episode, I learned so much more about it. There's always something fun to learn, and the history behind it is crazy. So I think that wraps up our show. We're serving your city one convo at a time. Make sure, if you haven't already, go follow Serving 813 on Instagram. And if you're interested on being on the show, your organization, DM us. We'll get something situated and we'll start something. So this is Ava Lamison signing off. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.